Welcome back to another episode of the Ted Brick Show. Today we're talking about the crackpot theory. The crackpot theory isn't really a theory, but it's a parable, and it can be traced back to India or Chinese, depending on who's telling the story. Today I'm not Indian, I'm not Chinese, so I can give a fair view of what the story is really about. We're going to expand on it and figure out the life lessons that it provides because we're curious about it. And this is the Ted Brick Show, bringing you a necessary lens of perception to allow you analyze the world at large more clearly. Let's get into it. So you see how some Chinese people carry water. They carry water in clay pots and they hang them on woods that stretch across their shoulders. So imagine somebody carrying water every single day, 2 pots of water that sits on a pole that stretches across their shoulders. One of these pots is flawless, smooth, sealed tightly, and delivers every single drop of water that is fetched from the stream to the destination. The other pot is not so flawless because it has a crack and it drips a trail of water along the path to the destination. So when it gets to the destination, it's half empty. So the perfect and flawless pot seems very reliable and efficient, while the other pot that has the crack seems like a liability and a disappointment. But here's a twist. After weeks, maybe months, the person who carries the water notices something very significant. And what he notices was along the path that he uses from the stream to the house, he noticed that wild plants, wild flowers starts to sprout and grow. And this is as a result of the cracked pot delivering a trail of water on the path to the house. So one side of the path to the house grows beautiful flowers, beautiful plants, and the other side seems very barren and dry. The crackpot in its flawed state was always delivering water that was watering the seeds on the path from the stream to the house. It hasn't just been a flawed clay pot, but it has been a gardener by accident. The life lesson that is attached to this is about redefining your worth. Life puts us through so much hurt, pain, frustrations that we crack up sometimes. We leak and we eventually fall short of certain ideas. Maybe you're not the fastest, the smartest, or the most polished. Maybe you spill your ideas, your energy, your kindness without even realizing it. But those cracks, those leaks, those imperfections, they're not always going to a waste. They can seed something unintended, something beautiful, something worth putting your time into, something that you can be proud of, a side effect that you would only notice later in life. The thing is, you don't have so much control over what is going to bloom and what is not going to over time, or when it's even going to bloom. The pot for my story isn't even aware it's going to bloom flowers, it just leaks water. And that's only because it's cracked. Think about it this way, someone might screw up a project and accidentally spark up a new idea, a better idea in the wreck. A shy kid who stumbles over his words might still inspire somebody. Know that the crack isn't the point, the failure isn't the point. The flaw is in the point, but it's what sips through the crack that can make things better. It's not all perfect, back in the story, still half the water in the pot is still gone. So if you need to go like 2 trips to get a jerry can full, you have to go maybe 6 because you come back home with half the pot filled. So there's some pain, there's some loss, which is the trade-off. So that's the catch. You don't get to be whole, to be perfect, to be painless, and still bloom flowers. You have to live with the crack. You have to live with the pain. And that's how you bloom flowers, even in your mess. I hope this was helpful to somebody. Alright, this was me, Ted Bricks, with the Ted Bricks Show, bringing you a necessary lens of perception to allow you analyze the world at large more clearly. I am going to urge you to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and don't forget the notification bell, which is going to allow you to get notifications each time that I post a video, which is going to be every week. Also, feel free to hit the like button and leave me a comment in the comment section. Hey, leave me a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think about the crackpot theory and anything you would like to tell me. All right, have a lovely day.